What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. Yes, my mic was off. It was off, and that is very upsetting. But whatever, man. we're gonna make it right. We're gonna talk about it. I'll try to make the video just like I did before. That recent video I made, that was 15 minutes. I feel like it was a really good video, but I'll try and do it again. Doing a second take is not authentic for me. That's why I don't do scripts, because I like to just talk off the top of my head. So it's hard sometimes when I retrace to remember what I have said, what I haven't said. Let's first start with the first aspect of the video that I made, okay? It was talking about how some people are confused. They're absolutely confused by what it means whenever I talk about the price going down, right? Whenever I say the price is going down, that doesn't mean that it has to move down immediately. I did say throughout yesterday's video that if we're looking at the daily time frame, looking at this on the RSI, you have bullish divergence, maybe, maybe not. And if it is bullish divergence, you can watch the video, not the most recent video that has no sound, but the video before that, that I was drawing a line right here at this daily close, exactly here, and saying that we were just below that line, so it wouldn't be crazy at all if we went a little bit through it. Well, we went a little bit through it right there. I even said we could move all the way up to $91,000 and we still would not validate this as a low. Until we close above $91,000, this low is not valid. 91K is an essential area, okay? It's a very essential area. Until then, we're going lower. Until you close above 91K, we're going lower. Now, does that mean we have to go there every movement? If we don't drop to 72 to 73K like I'm expecting that we drop to, if we don't drop somewhere in this area today, does that mean it's off the table? No. If we go to 87K, 86K, does that mean it's off the table? No, we're still in a downtrend. No. We are going down there. I don't personally expect that we go above $84,500. I accept it as a possibility, and if we were to go above there, this is what it looks like from a high to a low. We'd probably stop at 85.4 to 87.6, 89,000, maybe even 91K, somewhere in those areas. But getting above 91K is what's really important. Not because it's the 786, but because it's the overall 236 of this low to high here, our most recent pivot. You get above that, I believe that you will validate whatever low is coming our way as a low. Okay, so 91K is important. I want to address some other people now, right? Because for the trolls out there that were celebrating this, I don't know why people were celebrating, acting like I was wrong, because we went up 1.8%, even though I genuinely did say yesterday that that it's very common with bullish divergence to go through the divergence, so it wouldn't be crazy at all if we went a little bit higher, right? Even though I said those exact things. A 1.8% pump is nothing to get excited. You guys, it's nothing to get excited for. An 8% pump is nothing to get excited for. We would have to move up an overall about 10%. We'd have to close there on a day before we get excited, okay? That's for the trolls. Now for the people who have poor comprehensive abilities, who don't understand English. Maybe it's your first language and you just have a low IQ, or maybe it is your second language and you just genuinely don't understand English. So I'm going to try to explain it for you, because somebody had this notion in their head that I talk about the price going up, I talk about the price going down. That way, whenever it's at its lows or at its highs, I can just say, see, I told you. That's not me. I've never been like that. I never want to be like that. That's how crypto YouTube is at large. 90% of them are like that. Not everybody, but I'm not one of those 90% people. Hold on. That's not my style. I only talk about, and oftentimes, every single time, in fact, whenever I say it's going to do this or it'll do this, I tell you what side I'm expecting. Very clearly, to make it very clear and obvious so that people can understand who have a poor time understanding, have very low comprehensive abilities. You know who you are. I expect that we're going to go lower. I expect that. That's what I expect. But if we do something I don't expect, which I would be wrong for, right? I would be wrong. Who cares if I'm wrong? Who cares if I'm right? It doesn't matter. But if I was wrong, this is what it would look like. We would stop somewhere between probably $91,000 and $85,000. You know, anywhere and everywhere in between is fine. But as long as we're not closing above 91K, lower targets are still on the table. Okay, it's nothing to get excited for. That doesn't mean that if we go up here, I'm going to be like, haha, I was right. I told you we'd go here. No, it means, haha, I was wrong, but we expected this. Even if I was wrong, that this would be the area we stop at. It's nothing to get excited for. We're not going to get mega bullish on a bull trap and then ultimately go to the area that we're holding out for in the long run, right? To make it fully clear, I expect we're going down from here. I do not expect we go above today's high. I think that was it. That was a taste. We could have gone higher, but we didn't. That was it. Okay? We're going to go lower. The likely target area that we're going to see And pardon my attitude. It's really not directed at anybody. It's coming from the stupid mic, you guys. I freaking... Oh, man. I hate wasting my time. I really hate repeating myself and wasting my time, right? This mic has costed me like hours of my life. My grandpa got it for me as a gift, and it's actually a really nice mic. He got it for me like years ago when I was starting out my YouTube channel. It's a really nice mic. I love the mic. My daughter has destroyed it. My daughter has knocked it over so many times. She's ripped the cords. It's very delicate, so I just need to get a new one, man, because I'm not in the right place right now, but it's okay. This is a bullish butterfly pattern. Enough of my own BS. Who cares, right? Bullish butterfly patterns, and that's not a joke, that's a real thing. It's a harmonic pattern. Harmonics are very specific. From a low to a high, this low needs to be a 786 retracement. It needs to be specifically. And what did we get very specifically? A 786 retracement to a T. It couldn't have been more perfect. This one needs to be something between a 382 to an 886 retracement of this range, which it is. It's a 382 to 886 retracement. It goes right up in there. There you go. Perfect. Boom. This would imply that the next move down would have to be somewhere between the 1272 to the 1618 of this area here. And if these zones comply, then it'll also make sense, but they don't. Low to high, it'd be the 1618 to 2618 of these fibs, right? The 1618 to the 2618 of this fib here. That 1618 is here, right there. The 2618 is here, right there. Both of those are outside the box. I know technically the 1618 is inside the box, but let me show you that it's I just drew the box a little bit big. It's not supposed to be that big. From a low to a high, the 1272 to the 1618 is what it is. So you really the targets for this fib, the extended areas here, we don't even need to acknowledge them, or we can acknowledge them, but they're not. I don't think they're going to help us. Okay, so I do believe Bitcoin is not done going lower until we see prices that are at $74.2 thousand to $69.4 thousand, something in there. And we're going to refine that range a little bit because I have a strong inclination to believe that we do stop very near this pink line here, the 1414 at 72.2K, 73K, somewhere in that zone. And I'll go over that in a second too. If we look at this from a low to a high here, our golden ratio is right there. It's perfect. Right there at 72.3K. Golden ratio is perfect area for support. I'll show you how perfect it is. From a low here to a high there, you literally tipped off of this move, have already tipped your golden ratio. Oftentimes when you're deconstructive, as you are now in the fibs, you do go to that next level, which is the 1886 to 200 level, which is right there, right in the crosshairs, or right around, I should say, this 1618. In fact, you might go just below the 200 in that sense. Maybe you stop just above it, but something between 73 to 72K is what I'm expecting, okay? Beyond all of that, what I think is going on with Bitcoin is something that I've seen before. This pattern we've seen before, and not in Bitcoin's history, maybe in Bitcoin's history, but I've seen it before. And where I've seen it is Compound. Compound is a decentralized finance crypto. It's a DeFi crypto. It's not decentralized, so it's very centralized. Let's be real. But it's a DeFi protocol. I'm not here to shill Compound, but it is one of my biggest bags. I think it's going to do very well. I like DeFi projects. But the reason why we're talking about Compound is not because of that. We're talking about it because if you look at this, you might be wondering, wait, are we talking about Bitcoin or Compound? What is this? It looks like Bitcoin. It looks the same, doesn't it? Let's try to scope this in for scale. Let's just see here. Hold on. Try to zoom this in a little bit to make it like the same size. Do you see the similarity? Do you see the similarity? Why is it doing that? Come on. Come on, something I have to like draw because I have my mouse pad. I can't draw that big of a circle. Do you see the similarity of this whole zone here to this whole zone here, right? You pumped up, you had a nice immaculate kind of pump into it, very straight line moving into it, and then you have this ugly diamond pattern that looks like kind of like a seagull, right? Like that. And then once you dropped, you had a rather immaculate drop out of it. You had a nice pump into it. You have this overall pattern that looks kind of like a seagull. And then whenever you dropped right down like that, okay? They look similar, but not only that, they're performing similar. I don't know how much I believe in fractals, but this pattern, it seems to be performing the exact same, more or less. From a low to a high, when Compound dropped, it immediately went to its golden ratio to find support. And then it retraced a little bit and inevitably went lower. Where did it find its low? In the 1886 to 200 area, okay? Bitcoin, whenever it dropped from its low to high, it dropped down to its golden ratio zone. Perfectly, picture perfect. It retraced a bit more. it did retrace a bit more. And the patterns, they're very similar, but they're not perfect, right? Compound has a lower high in this pattern. Bitcoin has a higher high, but they're very similar. And they're even performing similar, at least so far. Not only that, but the 1886200 of this level, it does take you right to that zone of the butterfly land, right? The butterfly, bullish butterfly pattern target would take us down there. And some people might be like, if it's a bullish butterfly, why does it take us down? Because after you find your low, that's when you get the immaculate recovery, right? It's a bottoming pattern. That's why it's bullish. Bottoming patterns are bullish, but they mean you probably have to go a little lower, or you see a little turbulence here and there, right? But it's the bullish butterfly calls for us to go down there. This pattern is behaving exactly the same as what we saw with compound so far. And I mean, not exactly, not 100% to a T, but with the movements overall, yes, essentially. It just all makes sense to me. Whether it's the bullish butterfly, whether it's the next step in the fibs, whether it's this ugly diamond top pattern that's a fractal of what compound did, whether it's the relative fib here that goes to the golden ratio from a low to a high, it's very clear, absurdly clear, that there is a lot of support in that 72 to 73K area. So that's where I think we're going to go, okay? And another thing that I think is important, and if anybody ever notices this, I think we should put this in our back pocket for later, right? And use this as a potential pattern. It is a diamond pattern. It is a diamond top, but it's a kind of, it seems like a very specific diamond top. I don't even know. It's a very, diamond patterns are ugly patterns, but this one is ugly as hell. It's uglier than most of them. So it might be a different form of a diamond pattern in itself. They're very rare patterns, diamond patterns are, but not always so rare, but just the fact that it's performing similar to this one, I might have to remember that, and you guys might have to remember that for another time too. Remind me or bring it up in the comments if we ever see anything like this, okay? But I've got nothing else to say really, okay? Daily RSI suggests that we're going to go lower. Rejecting the 40 is not good. 4-hour RSI, we have higher highs here relative to the RSI, higher highs right here. Overall, we are in a downtrend in the 4-hour, right? Downtrend. But we have higher highs relatively speaking. Along with the price, we don't have higher highs. We have lower highs on a closing basis, lower highs. That's what the RSI is based off of. So higher highs there, lower highs on a closing basis. It's hidden bearish divergence. We will likely go down from here. Okay, likely we will go down from here. The target area is 72 to 73K, with the exception that we could go lower. It just wouldn't really make too much sense to go lower than 69K though. We could go to 69K. Who knows? We could go there. But as far as the bullish butterfly is concerned, that would be like the maximum drop that we could have. Afterwards, we're looking to pump. We're looking to see some immaculate moves, but for now, Bitcoin likely has a drop that will implicate something of a, let's say, an 11% drop to maybe a 12% drop, which would implicate that the rest of the market, the rest of the crypto space also drops either that same amount or likely more. So prepare yourselves, my friends. I expect that within the next 4 days and 7 hours, we will have resolution of this low. I expect next week to be the week that we start to recover, and from then on, going into April, May. But I got nothing else for you guys. That's it, okay? So hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I cannot believe that I made more muted videos, man. The first one was way better than this one, but whatever. All right, bye.